Luke, they obviously made you work for it particularly late, but in the end, a good win. Are you pretty pleased with that one?
You're always happy when you win, but if you have a look at the numbers, there was a lot of territory for GWS and a lot of stoppages in their forward 50 and more disposals and some fundamentals that we pride ourselves on. And as the dampness came in, when it rained a little bit, they became even more important. So we frustrated ourselves by letting the ball over the back and into open space way too often, and gave them a look and fueled some brilliance in their game that really shone through at the start of that last quarter. So that's challenging, and it's in a sense that part of the game was really disappointing. It's a credit to the Giants. We've been impressed watching them really fight their games out. I said in my press conference, when was that? I think it was Thursday, that the game that the Giants won against the Crows here, as a hero, or at your home base, in the heat without a bench, guys cramping, showed enormous character and intestinal fortitude, and we knew that they were going to keep coming, and so it was a shame to let them in, so many times in that last quarter. But to our guys' credit, we did steady and managed to go again. So we'll take the win and we'll jump on a plane tomorrow morning. But there's a bit to work on.
Marcus went his career high clearances and contested possessions. I mean, how big was he tonight? Was that one of his better performances in a while? He's
had a pretty good year up to date. I couldn't believe that he'd had 10 clearances at half time. I mean, that's pretty phenomenal. He's always doing his absolute best to lead the charge, and he played a really solid game. Some of their midfielders were really impressive. Tom Green was, I said to our coaches, Tom Green's really, he's really coming on. He's kicked 3 goals as well as a lot of disposals, and so he was impressive. And I think their support group around there were pretty good, and look, we probably at different times we had boys bob up and put a stamp on the game here and there, but we just didn't have any fluency. So again, as I say, to come away with a win against a team that's been ultra competitive and are progressing with some of their kids, it's we walk away happy, but as I said, there's a bit to work on.
So some of the changes they made, Green going accountable on Bont after half time, Himmelberg in the ruck, especially late, giving them that ground mobility edge. Were you surprised by some of those, and how do you adjust as they happen and get the sort of counter messages out?
Oh, well, the game, they need to come and they need to win the game, and so they're obviously throwing some different things in their mix, and I think Himmelberg's a good runner as much as competing well, at the source, and so I suppose they're just after a different kind of energy. And initially you just back your boys in who were playing the roles because it was sort of within our control, or under our control for a fair period. But ultimately, you got to make sure that you make the right decisions around pulling any sort of mode levers and numbers, and making sure that you can still maintain some territory if you get it into your front half. We just couldn't get it into our front half, which is to their credit. I mean, we looked like we were coming out of centre bounce a couple of times and gave the ball straight back to them, which we weren't doing at the start of the game. So they're the things that I'm talking about, that we probably, whether we went away from what we planned but once you're out in those conditions, you got to get it into your forward line, and we had opportunities and we didn't, and they got it right. They got it back right there, and off they went. So, ultimately, as I said, we'll look to improve, again this week, and we've got a big game against the Blues at Marvel.